Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Now coming to discuss about Buddhism, Lord Buddha. Where he was born, his period is also mentioned the 6th century BC to the 5th century, 563 BC to 483 BC. His birth was in Lumbini near Kapilvastu in Nepal in 563 BC. His father was Suddhodana. He was king of Kapilvastu from the Shakya family. This is the name of the dynasty, Sakya dynasty. Mother's name was Mahamaya. She was princess of Kosala, one of the Mahajanpadas, very famous Mahajanpadas. She died within 1 week of his birth and he was cared by his mother's sister Gautami. So this is about the Lord Buddha's early life. Just after his birth, his mother died. At the age of 16, he married with Yasodhara and she gave birth to a son named as Rahul. Gautam Buddha was not interested in married life. It's a very simple. He was not interested in married life and at the age of 29, he left home for Mahaparityaga. Tyag is a Sanskrit word, to leave, left. What he did, Mahaparityaga, means he not only left his palace, but his wife, his son, everything. At the age of 35, he attained knowledge, which is known as the Great Enlightenment. First sermon he has given at Sarnath, which is near Banaras, and Dharma Chakra Parvartana. This is the most important philosophical idea of Buddhism. He passed away 483 BC at Kushinagar in Uttar Pradesh. So right from this, the enlightenment, where he got great enlightenment at the age of 30, it was in Gaya. Or can say Bodh Gaya. It is in Bihar. So this is all the important fact about that, the early life of Lord Buddha till his death. Buddha and the quest for enlightenment. Why did he not want to lead a married life or a normal life? Why he has accepted this Mahaparityaga? So this we are coming to discuss in this. The quest means that the discovery. Buddha was one of the most influential teachers of his time. His message spread across the subcontinent and beyond through Central Asia to China, Korea, Japan, and through Sri Lanka across the seas to Myanmar, Thailand, and Indonesia. So these are the countries, not only in our country, but in the foreign countries also, this Buddhism has been spread. His message about the religion has spread. Buddha was named as Siddhartha at the time of his birth and was the son of the chief Sakya clan. And name of his father was Suddhodana. Who was he? He was the father of Buddha. He led a sheltered upbringing in the palace, detached from the harsh realities of life. As he was a different kind of child, his father observed him. So his upbringing was done not to face any harsh realities of his life. He undertook a journey into a city which was a turning point of his life. While the first time when he came out from his palace and he took a tour of his city, that was the turning point of his life. he was deeply anguished, means he was in deep pain when he saw an old man, a sick man, and a corpse, a dead body. With that, he was started thinking about that, the different phases of life, and he was in great pain. It was at the moment, that he realized that decay of human body was inevitable. While he was in his journey, that time only he realized this is inevitable. Once we are born on the earth, we have to die. So what he thought about that the decay of human body was inevitable. We cannot avoid this fact. This is the fact of our life. He saw a mendicant who come to terms with old age and disease and death and found peace. Soon after this journey, what Siddhartha did, he left the palace at the age of 29 in search of truth. This is the Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya. It is a place in Bihar, and still this peepal tree is lying there. It is still there. Long back, you can imagine about that, the 563 BC. And at the age of the 29 only, Lord Buddha got his enlightenment. But the tree is still remain there. Then what the Buddha did when he left his house, his home, he explored many paths, including bodily mortification. He abandoned the extreme path and meditated for several days and finally attained enlightenment at the age of 35. Means 5 to 6 years, he was in the extreme path of meditation and came to be known as Buddha or the enlightened one. Buddha means, it's again Sanskrit, Pali or Prakrit word. Buddhi, knowledge or enlightenment. For the rest of his life, he taught Dhamma, Prakrit word, or the path of righteous living. How to lead a good life or a right path, how to decide. Then coming to discuss with the main teachings of Buddhism. The first of all, the sources. What we have available, how we are getting the idea about this, the Lord Buddha and his philosophical ideas about the religion. We are getting this idea from the sources, which is written in Sutta Pitaka. Contains the teachings of Buddha in the form of stories. What is the Sutta Pitaka? About the story of Lord Buddha, it is available, written in that book in a form of a story. Few stories describe his miraculous powers, and others suggest that Buddha tried to convince people through reasons and persuasion rather through displays of supernatural power. Supernatural power was not considered. What he was? He tried to persuade the people with the logical reasoning about the life. These are the books of Lord Buddha, Buddhist texts. Just like as the teachings of Jainism, now we are coming to discuss with the teachings of Buddhism. Four noble truths or Arya Satya means that this is the fact we must have to understand about our life. The world is full of sorrows and miseries. This is the real fact which we must have to accept it. So what he says that the Arya Satya, we acceptance to be there. The desire is the cause of all sorrows and miseries. First of all, Lord Buddha says about that, the sorrows and the miseries. And why this the sorrows and miseries are there in our life, in the world? Because of our desires. Sorrowing can be ended only by elimination of desires. If we keep our desires aside, then we are free from the sorrows and the miseries. When sorrow ends, there is perfect bliss. There must be a way to attain bliss and end desires. That was the noble, this is the Ashtanga Mangra, the eightfold path. These are the different languages which is used in the Buddhist text. Might be in Pali language or Prakrit or Sanskrit language. In a simple way, the eightfold path, the noble eightfold path of Buddhism. So the simple suggestions was given by Lord Buddha to eliminate the desires, and the human life is free from the sorrow. The world is transient, anika, and constantly changing. This we are also experiencing about that. The constant change is there, experienced in the world. It is also soulless, as there is nothing permanent or eternal in it. So change means what? No permanency. After some times, nothing is permanent in the world. After some times, it changed. So within this transient world, sorrow is intrinsic to human existence. Dukkha. Sorrow, it is written here over dukkha. It is by following the middle path between the severe penance and the self-indulgence that human beings can rise above these worldly troubles. If we follow the middle path, then certainly we are free from the worldly troubles. This is the Ashta Marga. This is Ashta Marga. Right view, right determination, right speech, right livelihood, right action, right exercise, right memory, and right meditation. So if we categorize, it may come like this. This is known as the Ashtang Marga. Ashtang Marga or the Ashtamarga, eightfold path of Lord Buddha. Then next it is 5 moral rules to his disciples. Don't commit violence. Don't covet the property of others. Don't speak falsely. Don't use intoxicants, means alcohol or any type of the intoxicating drinks. Let not one be unchaste. Not one be unchaste. Buddha advised to overcome anger by kindness, hatred by love, and evil by God. This is the advice given by Lord Buddha, how to overcome from anger. By kindness, we can easily overcome. By kindness, hatred by love, and evil by good. So this way his advice was given how to make your life perfect. His teachings were very famous. Even many of the Buddhist followers, they has just make it very relevant, and they are correlating it with the human life. In the early forms of Buddhism, whether or not God existed was irrelevant. Any forms of Buddhism, the existence of God was considered as irrelevant. The same way how this Jainism and the Jain text also says about that, the irrelevance of God. Existence of God is irrelevance. They are not telling that the God is not there, but existence is irrelevance. Buddha regarded the social world as a creation of humans, rather than divine origin, and thus advised kings and the Gahapatis to be human and ethical. Gahapati means that the head of the family. These are the suggestions, the advice given by Lord Buddha. What he has, the Buddha regarded the social world as a creation of humans. Social world, what we have created about the family life. This is the creation of the humans. We human, we have created this. Then the divine origin, and thus advised kings and the Gahapatis to be human and ethical. Means to deal with their subjects in a very kind manner. Buddhism emphasizes literally the extinguishing of the ego and desires, and thus ends the suffering of those who renounce the world. So ego and desires, the sorrow, the dukkha, is completely based on this, the ego and desires. So by giving up these desires, to leave your ego, you must have to renounce the world. How this Buddhist Sangha and the followers of Buddhism or the Buddhist followers, they were known as the Buddhist Sangha. Sangh, it's again a Sanskrit word, a group. Buddha's last words of to his followers were, "Be lambs unto yourself, as all of you must work at your own liberation." It's a very important theme given by Lord Buddha. Be lamb means you must have to burn yourself, as all of you must work out your own liberation to make yourself free from this worldly pleasure. The body of disciples of Buddha or an organization of monks is called Sangh. So what is Sangh? Means that the body of disciples of Lord Buddha or the organization of Buddhist monks. This is known as Sangh. Buddha founded a Sangh. It was an organization of monks who became teacher of Dhamma. How to spread the message of Dhamma? This was the Sangh. The first, it was founded by Lord Buddha, and this organization of monks, they became the teachers of. These monks lead a simple life. To become a Buddhist monk, they must have to lead a simple life, possessing only the essential requisites for survival. No property, no wealth, such as a bowl to receive food once a day from the layman. Again, that the concept of the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. They have a bowl in the morning hours only. They are just roaming here and there to collect the food, and that also once in a day. As they lived on herbs, means viksha, they were known as bhikkhus. Initially, only men were allowed into the Sangha. In the initial phases, only men were allowed, women were not allowed. But later, women were also joined this Sangha. Buddha's foster mother, just now we have discussed about his birth. His mother died just after a week only when Lord Buddha was born. So he has been taken care, brought up by his mother's sister, Gautami. Mahaprajapati, Gautami, was the first woman to be included in the bhikkhuni. The first bhikkhuni was Mahaprajapati Gautami, who was his foster mother. Many women who entered the Sangha became teachers of Dhamma and went on to become thayers, or the respected woman. Thayers means, it's a classical English which means that the respected woman who attained liberation. The Buddha's followers came from many social groups. Already we have discussed in the beginning part of this about the existence of the Vedas, the caste systems, the division of society on the Varna system, profession, occupation. But the followers of Buddhism, they belong from the different social groups. They included kings, wealthy men, and Gahapatis, the head of the families, and also humbler folk, workers, slaves, and craftspeople. So the different social groups, means entire type of the whosoever they wanted to become a Buddhist, they can join this religion. So caste was not a bar to become a Buddhist. Once within the Sangha, all were regarded as equal, having shed their earlier social identities on becoming bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. Whether they are the craftspeople, whether they were the slaves or the kings, moment they become the bhikkhus and the bhikkhunis, their the early social identities were abolished, were removed. Now they have used the simple term for them is about the bhikkhus and the bhikkhunis. The Buddhist sanghas, which comprise of bhikkhus and the bhikkhunis, functioned on the lines of ganas and the sanghas, where consensus was arrived at the based on discussions. So how they come to the consensus? How they arrive to the result or to the means the output of their discussions? Means that with that the proper discussion, lines of ganas and the sanghas, all they sit together, they do debate and discussion on that point, and then finally they give the results. If discussions failed to bring about harmony, then decisions were taken by a vote on the subject. The complete system of democracy was being followed. So nicely this religion was organized by Lord Buddha. Can imagine about that, how nicely this, how to bring about the harmony. It cannot destroy the harmony and the peace of the society. So the voting system was also followed by them. How this religion is spread. First, just now we have discussed about that no social means that identity were followed by the people, whether they are king or the slaves. Simply after joining this sangh, they become the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. Now this, how the message of Buddhism or this religion is spread. Buddhism grew rapidly both during the lifetime of the Buddha as well as after his death. People were dissatisfied with the prevailing religions and were confused by social changes that were occurring. People, most of the people who they do not fit in that the upper three classes, they were very dissatisfied with that the social order, this sacrifices, yagyas which were organized. So this satisfied with the prevailing religions, what were the religion were followed by the people. So and lots of confusion was also there. How to get salvation from the cycle of rebirth. So Buddhism emphasized on the importance of conduct and values rather than claims of superiority based on the birth. In a simple way, this Buddhism, they have started insisting the people about the importance of conduct and values, which was not even related to their birth. It is not based on their birth. No one is superior, no one is inferior. The emphasis was laid on metta, means the fellow feelings, whether it is a king or a slave. Mitra can also, friend can also, and karuna, compassion, especially for those who were young and weaker than oneself. We must have a feeling of that karuna or compassion. So these were the ideas that drew men and women to Buddhism. With this feeling only, the feeling of the fellow feeling, this has drawn the means that the people, they from the different sections of the society, they became the Buddhists. They have started following the Buddhism. These are the Buddhist shrines of the different parts of our country. This is the Sarnath, very important place for Lord Buddha. The first sermon after his enlightenment, the first sermon was delivered by Lord Buddha. This is about the Lord Buddhas. This place is actually very important. It is near Varanasi or Banaras, we can say, in Uttar Pradesh. So this is the importance of Sarnath temple.